retracing my steps and going back to a place I explored once before. Seymour Cabin, also known as Seymour Woods, where the history runs deep through these woods, of an abundance of historical figures, people who have fought in the Revolutionary War, people who were attorney generals for past presidents, and mill owners for the county which this cabin sits in. It all starts in 1801 when Avery Powers buys this land. In 1801, Avery Powers bought this land from James Glover from Norwich, Connecticut, and moved to Ohio with his family and Nathan Carpenter, who served in the Revolutionary War. Powers was a councilman for the county and owned 485 acres, a house, 10 cattle, and 3 horses. On May 3, 1813, Avery Powers died of quick consumption, also known as tuberculosis, and was buried on his farm that adjoined Carpenter's farm to the north. After Avery's death, his wife and daughter lived on this land, and there's a foundation from the 1830s that was supposedly the house that they lived in. In 1848, Shabal Knapp and John Blinn sold the 3-story mill that they built to George Beaver for $3,000. James Beaver, George's son, would then operate the mill. In 1866, James Beaver would purchase part of Seymour Woods and run Beaver Mill until he fell into financial problems and sold the mill to Jesse Urey in 1889. The mill is now known as Beaver Mill. In 1918, A.F. Seymour and his wife purchased Seymour Woods. 5 years later, in 1921, A.F. Seymour moved his family to Washington, D.C., where he became the Attorney General for President Warren G. Harding. In 1925, A.F. Seymour passes away and his son James inherits the land. James uses Seymour Cabin as a weekend retreat. In 1980, James Seymour donates the 108 acres of land, including the cabin, to the state. James Seymour dies 2 years later in 1982. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.